The Like a Dragon series is all about two things: punching a bunch of bad guys in the face and karaoke. This video is more about the punching than the karaoke. So here are some combat tips for Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. In The Man Who Erased His Name, you get a handy new tool called the Spider Gadget. This can be used to retrieve items outside of combat, but it can also help you in battle. By holding the grapple button, you can entangle an enemy with it. While entangled, you can swing them around and smack enemies with them, or pull enemies towards you, or force them to drop their weapons, and all kinds of other fun stuff. The only thing that the Spider Gadget isn't suited for is entangling heavy enemies, but that doesn't mean you can't still hit them with other entangled enemies. Also, remember how I said you could use the Spider Gadget to make enemies drop their weapons? Well, don't just let that perfectly good weapon go to waste. Your enemies will often come at you with various weapons, so steal those away from them and use them to bash them silly instead, because as long as you have the weapon, they don't. So always grab whatever is lying around you to inflict some major damage. Early on in The Man Who Erased His Name, you'll have access to two fighting styles. You'll start with the Agent style, and it won't take you too long to unlock the Yakuza style. Now, these styles have some different advantages. Agent style gives you access to useful tools, such as the Spider Gadget, that allow you to create space, distract enemies, and disable multiple opponents at once. You also fight with wide swings that are good for fighting multiple foes. The Yakuza style, on the other hand, is better suited for dealing with tougher enemies, as it gives you charged attacks that can break through enemy guards, and you generally just hit harder. Both styles have their place, but in general, Agent style is better suited for fights with groups of enemies, while Yakuza style is better off for one-on-one battles with very tough enemies. Now let's talk about your heat meter. There are two ways you could expend all of that heat. You could either perform heat actions, or you could pull your devil trigger and enter heat mode. Now, heat actions are a lot of fun, but they don't do as much destructive damage as entering heat mode and going ham on everyone around you. To enter heat mode, you'll need a full bar of your heat meter, but you don't need to use it all. Instead, you can activate heat mode, destroy your enemies in a blaze of fury, and then cancel it to save some meter. That said, while heat mode is a better use of your heat meter, you can later upgrade your heat actions to make them more powerful by doing tasks for Akame. This will make them a more viable option in battle later on in the game. To help you stay alive during fights, be sure to fill up your pockets with food. Burgers, sushi, energy drinks, whatever perishable item you can carry is the key to not dying to a kick to the gut. You can carry a lot of food items, so you should stock up on all of them. The more expensive the food, the more health it will recover. And keep in mind, you can use these healing morsels of food at any time in combat. So even if you're flung into the air with a sliver of health, you can quickly chow down and keep fighting. Finally, let's talk about how to tackle tough enemies. When it comes to harder bad guys, don't bother using your Spider Gadget on them. In fact, Agent style in general won't be that effective against them, unless you need to take out a few weaker enemies surrounding you first. When it comes to tougher enemies, use Yakuza style, stay locked onto them, and play reactively. Don't button mash. Wait for them to attack, and then dodge to the side to give you an opening to land some blows on them. If a tough enemy starts to glow or pose, they may be about to unleash a strong attack. When this happens, get some distance, and just when they're about to use that strong attack, don't evade to the side, evade into them to perform a counterattack that will do a ton of damage and leave them vulnerable. Hopefully these tips will be enough to help you beat the living hell out of everyone in this game. And for more Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name news and guides, be sure to check out thegamer.com. I'm Jamie Latour, and we'll see you next time.